On World Humanitarian Day, focus turns to government efforts in closing gaps and saving lives in crisis zones. INEC begins display of candidates' credentials ahead of FCT area council elections.
No, you don't petition INEC, you petition the court. Okay. You take him to court, and it's the court that will check his documents and pronounce whether it is authentic or not authentic.
Federal Capital Territory Authority promises to sustain Operation Sweep in ongoing city cleanup of miscreants. Hello and welcome to News Desk at 3 on 19Th. We're live in Abuja. I am Mina Daniels. Borno State Police Command has confirmed an explosion in Konduga local government area, claiming 2 lives and leaving 4 others injured hours after the recovery of an unexploded ordnance in the Kwa local government area. Police Public Relations Officer Kenneth Nahum Dasso said the discovery was made after a farmer, Babagana Kachala, alerted authorities of a suspicious object on his land. A team deployed by the Commissioner of Police, Naziri Abdul Majid, identified the object as a 2.2-meter-long cluster bomb unit, which was safely secured and no casualties recorded. And joining us now live from Maiduguri to speak on the bomb blast in Borno State is the Police Public Relations Officer, Kenneth Nahum Dasso. Mr. Kenneth, thank you for joining us on the News Desk at 3.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, could you please tell us about this bomb incident? What exactly happened and what is the situation as we speak?
Well, on the 17th of August 2025, from 2, which includes a discovery of an explosive or an unexploded ordnance in Konduga area, where the police put in effort to see that we were able to retrieve the item. Unfortunately, on the same date, we also received another incident that happened, an ugly one, in Konduga.
Go ahead, I can hear you. Go ahead. All right, we apologize for that poor audio quality. I believe we'll still reconnect with Mr. Dasso thereafter. And moving on, it's 19th of August, and of course, is the World Humanitarian Day, a time to honor those who help others and to stand with the millions of people whose lives hang in the balance. In this report, Ruth Aguele takes a look at government interventions in bridging gaps from humanitarian crisis.
They're called to serve, service for humanity, providing succor to vulnerable groups in war-torn regions or disaster-torn communities. Today, the world celebrates their doggedness, resilience in the face of adversity, as they continue to strive for a better society. It is the World Humanitarian Day, a day to recognize and honor humanitarian workers while promoting advocacy to meet humanitarian needs globally. For Nigeria, the growing concern for displacement that continues to breed as a result of natural and man-made disasters continues to wreak havoc across communities, poses concern for the humanitarian actors.
Nigeria is bleeding, particularly in this area of displacement. For a country to have 6.7 Nigerians being displaced, you know that the magnitude is alarming.
We have developed and redirect
the focus of the ministry towards providing durable solution. The National Social Registrar should not be a permanent destination. So also our IDP camps should not be where people remain there permanently. People staying in camp for more than 10 years, I don't think is acceptable.
This year's message on strengthening global solidarity and empowering local communities is a call to action for nations to adopt global approach by empowering communities to become self-reliant and build resilience, and the federal government, through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, are taking deliberate steps to empower vulnerable groups through its diverse initiatives from skills to grants.
To ensure that, one, there is emergency intervention fund that Mr. President granted approval to augment what is currently ongoing, to also work with the international community like the European Union. In the next few days, we are going to reach out to almost 2,199,000 91,000 Nigerians with a rapid cash transfer that will be to the tune of almost 54 billion through the National Social Investment Program Agency, the NSPA, through our government enterprises and empowerment program. We are going to reach about 21,000 Nigerians who are going to be engaged during the dry season farming. They will be given a soft loan that is collateral free.
As the world celebrates this day, it is a call to action to protect those who really matters, who put their lives on the line. And for those who bear the brunt, it is a time for all to act for humanity. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
I think Mr. Dasso is right back with us again. I'm sure you can hear me. So has any arrests been made so far?
No arrests has been made, but efforts of the command is that we are spreading our tentacles. The Commissioner of Police has directed that the EOD-CBRN team mobilize a specialist team to also probe the scene and ensure that we are able to gather factual evidences that we can get from the scene.
So before I let you go, what assurances are you giving to the residents? When things like this happen, there seems to be fear palpable in the air. So what are your assurances to residents?
We call on members of the public to go on their lawful pursuit, as we are trying our best to see that we're able to curtail such type of situation. And also from the command level, we've also tried to see that we sensitize members of the public on, especially in areas of explosive ordnance and risk awareness in local language, so that they tend to, when they see objects like that, they tend to report to the police or any security agencies. So we encourage them to go on their lawful pursuits and have their lawful businesses as the situation have been curtailed, and we'll try our best that whenever we have any breakthrough in this regard, we come and address members of the public on our successes.
Well, Mr. Dasso, PPRO Borno State, thank you so much for joining us on the news at 3. The Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sonono, has revealed that close to 419 billion naira has already gone out to almost 6 million Nigerians through conditional cash transfers. Government is also looking beyond short-term fixes with plans for poverty reduction programs and new infrastructure projects designed to cushion the impact of recurring humanitarian challenges. Dr. Sonono made this known during a conversation on Good Morning Nigeria as part of discussions on this year's World Humanitarian Day. Ekimini Williams followed the conversation.
Low. The World Food Programme is staring at a $130 million shortfall that could force it to cut off emergency food and nutrition supports for 1.3 million people. years of insecurity, mass displacement, climate shocks have already stretched communities thin, leaving millions vulnerable. According to Mohammed Malik Fall, United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, the reality is grime. Without sustained aid, many could face severe hunger, even starvation.
The most important thing for me, for a human being, is to have hope in the future, is to transmit that hope to their children, is to believe that where they live, they can find a better life and a better future there. And I think you can see it when people, years after years, are relying on humanitarian assistance, are relying on handout. They end up losing that aspect of human being which is extremely important, which is dignity.
Joining the conversation, the Special Advisor to the President on Health, Dr. Salma Ibrahim Anas, alongside Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sunonu, explained that government is pushing a more holistic plan to tackle poverty, insecurity, and the lack of basic services. The new approach aims to move Nigeria away from a purely emergency response mindset, focusing instead on lasting solutions. A key part of these efforts is a National Social Investment Program, which is providing conditional cash transfers to the country's most vulnerable groups.
It is zero tolerance to exploitation of sexual exploitation. So once it is detected and reported, it is punishable. So there are measures that have been put in place, and also encouraging, promoting women and girls to speak up if they experience such exploitation, to report it. So there are lines of reporting, and action will be taken, disciplinary action will be taken immediately.
You must do much to bring relief to average Nigerian, who let life have a human face, so that everybody can feel that really life is worth living.
They also seek stronger collaboration and urgent support from the international community, national government, and private sector to fill the gaps and keep life-saving interventions running. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC FCT, has commenced the display of particulars of candidates submitted by political parties for the upcoming area council election in the Federal Capital Territory, in line with Section 29 of the Electoral Act. Resident Electoral Commissioner Aminu Kasimu Idris says the exercise is part of efforts to keep political parties, candidates and the public informed ahead of the polls. Onotu Yakubu reports.
INEC has taken a fresh step on the path to the successful conduct of the FCT Area Council election with the public display of particulars of parties' flag bearers for the exercise. This is in adherence to Section 29 of the Electoral Act, which directs the Commission to publish details of candidates put forward by political parties. This phase is also marked in INEC's timetable for the election, forming part of the scheduled build-up to the poll. The Resident Electoral Commissioner says putting the particulars on display opens the space for scrutiny, not just by political parties and candidates, but also by voters and the general public.
Yeah, these are the documents submitted by the candidates. That is their qualifications, their background, all is attached there. So if somebody says he holds a degree and you are a schoolmate of his and know that he doesn't have that degree, you have the chance to now petition and take up the issue.
Those with objections are expected to follow the laid-down process for raising complaints.
No, you don't petition INEC, you petition the court. Okay. You take him to court, and it's the court that will check his documents and pronounce whether it is authentic or not authentic. So INEC's job is to display it, and we have done that. Additionally, of course, you know today, continuous voter registration starts today online, and I think some people are already on it. So you can encourage your viewers to go ahead and start the online registration before the in-person registration starts on the 25th of August.
INEC FCT also called on stakeholders to visit its offices across the 6 area councils of the territory, where similar exercise is also taking place simultaneously. The area council election is scheduled to hold in February next year. Onoto Yakubu, NTA News.
Let's take a break now. We'll be right back with more.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
This is NTA News 24.
Thanks for joining us again. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has resolved to sustain the ongoing city cleanup of miscreants and other nuisance under the exercise codenamed Operation Sweep. This is the fallout of the FCT Security Committee meeting held at the FCT Minister's official residence at the Life Camp. And this report, Onoze Yakubu, brings us up to speed on the outcome of the meeting chaired by the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike.
The exercise codenamed Operation Sweep was set up to rid the nation's capital city of all forms of nuisance. This FCT security meeting is to assess the pains and gains of the exercise. Briefing the media after the meeting, the FCT Commissioner of Police, Ajao Sakadewale, reiterates the need to sustain the momentum with emphasis on clearing all shanties, beggars, and destitute posing threats to lives. It says the FCT minister has given a directive to shut down all illegal mining sites springing up in the territory, while IDP camps will now be profiled.
As we speak, more than 273 destitutes are in the SDS Center, Buhari, undergoing profiling, wherever and taken care of, but they will need to be relocated to where they belong. Within the same period, more than 670 vehicles were impounded, dating to issue of improper documentation, tinted glasses, which we all know that is not acceptable here, issue of covered number plate, and issue of operating without appropriate authority. We are going to operate Uber, join Uber, we are going to operate both, do both. Or you want to do all this K2 thing that is creating a problem of this one chance. Many of them are arrested. We have nothing less than 675 of them.
The FCT police boss further reveals that moving forward, traffic offenders will henceforth be dealt with decisively. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
A founding member of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Mr. Osita Okechukwu, has thrown his full weight behind the proposed review of Nigeria's revenue allocation formula, describing it as long overdue. Okechukwu called the move a step towards win-win balanced federalism that will enhance grassroots democracy and national development. Speaking to journalists shortly after RMAFC chairman Mohammed Bello Shehu announced plans for a revenue formula review, the former DG of Voice of Nigeria advocated reducing the federal government's current 52% share to 40%. He argues that the existing formula, unchanged for over 3 decades, fuels political tension and a do-or-die struggle for central power. Okechukwu proposed a new distribution formula, 40% for the federal government, 40% for states, 10% for local governments, and 10% for special funds. While addressing concerns over reduced local government allocation, he pointed to the failure of financial autonomy reforms and urged a more pragmatic approach in dealing with emperor governors. He appealed to leaders and stakeholders across political and ethnic lines to support the reform, warning that poverty, inequality, and insecurity remain widespread. With constitutional amendments already underway, Okechukwu urged President Tinubu and lawmakers to seize the moment and entrench true federalism for the nation's long-term stability. Organizers of the proposed Groovy December event under the Emerging Abuja initiative paid a courtesy visit to the office of the Permanent Secretary of the Social Development Secretariat Abuja, signaling collaboration and support for the upcoming events in the Federal Capital Territory. Alika Okmanachi Arwa reports.
The Emerging Abuja initiative, known for its creative and community-driven programs, seeks to make the maiden edition of Groovy December Carnival a celebration that will promote social engagement, enhance Nigeria image and cultural branding, in addition to attracting economic development into the country. Permanent Secretary, Social Development Secretariat, expressed optimism about the initiative's potential impact, pledging the support of the Secretariat.
The SDS, we are like I said, the custodian of arts, culture and social welfare and tourism development in the FCT. And our responsibility is to promote, regulate and coordinate tourism activities while also ensuring that culture and creativity are harnessed for economic and social impact.
The first of such projects is the Abuja Green City, a 90% culture, entertainment and tourism city capable of attracting about 20 million tourists annually in the next 4 years, generating about 30 trillion naira to the FCT alone, contributing significantly to the Federation account to benefit all states and the FCT.
Outlining some of the objectives of the event, the organizers noted that it will not only promote cultural exchange, community outreach and social development, but will also turn the Federal Capital Territory into first-choice tourist destination.
What makes us us is what we want to sell, and Groovy December is that opportunity. It's going to be 16 days of non-stop fun and excitement. It's going to have a lot of interplay of culture, tourism, games, The
event is scheduled for December this year in Abuja. Alika Okmanachi Arwa, NTA News.
And government advisor Dr. Lola Adeyemi has been named the 2025 Best and Brightest Executive MBA graduate by Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management. Dr. Lola Adeyemi, who currently serves as Special Advisor on Research and Innovation to the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, says her global training will be used to strengthen Nigeria's healthcare system. Speaking to journalists in Abuja, Dr. Adeyemi emphasized the need for a stronger primary healthcare system, universal access to care, and innovative public-private partnerships to reform service delivery. She said healthcare must move from being a privilege to a basic right, with focus on accountability, data, and long-term system reform. On cancer care, Dr. Adeyemi stressed that prevention and early screening are more affordable and impactful than treating late-stage cases. She advocated for local research, improved diagnosis, and embedding cancer care within Nigeria's universal healthcare coverage agenda to reduce long-term health and economic costs. Dr. Adeyemi says her executive MBA has sharpened her leadership and system thinking skills, preparing her to drive policy change and digital transformation in Nigeria's health research. Both operators in Anambra and Delta states have expressed appreciation to the federal and Anambra state governments over the distribution of life jackets to the different boarding units in the states. The move, they say, will make the waterways in the states safer. Franklin Onyekachi reports that the distribution was made at the premises of the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, Onitsha Area Office.
The Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy had given out the life jackets to the Anambra State government for onward distribution to boat operators. And the Anambra State government, through the Commissioner for Transport, ensured the package was duly delivered to the end users.
NIWA has been harping on the need for water users to wear the life jackets during navigation. And the boat operators on their part have always complained of lack of resources to acquire these safety gadgets for themselves and their passengers. But today, a part of their prayer has been answered.
The Commissioner for Transport, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Michael Obiekwe, distributed the life jackets to the different boarding units in Anambra and Delta states.
Today, we gave out the first tranche, 500 pieces of the life jackets, and we're still expecting 3,000.
The Anambra State Chairman, Maritime Workers Union, Valentine Orizu, said boat operators have a big role to play in ensuring safety regulations during navigation.
We have been writing both to state government, to the agencies involved, to help us with life jackets because of the cost.
Whatever you people want to do as regards the waterways, please, we are here. We are ready to listen to you guys.
The boat operators expressed gratitude to the donors.
These life jackets have been our problem for a while now, which we have been longing it for, writing to the government, but unfortunately, today we have gotten it.
The stakeholders say their mission is to ensure that Anambra becomes the state with the safest navigable waterways in the country.
From the River Port Complex, Onitsha, Franklin Onyekachi, NTA News.
And that concludes the News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Many thanks for watching. I am Mina Daniels.